Good morning. Welcome to the online classes on Internet of Things. Today we'll speak about the second part of the design principles for the connected devices. In this class, we are going to see about the different layers, design standardization of the IoT and machine-to-machine systems. Then we will also speak about the modified OSI model for the IoT and the machine to machine systems, and we will also try to look into the communication technologies, different communication technologies, and we will also try to study about some of the technologies that is used in wireless communication and also in the wired communication. So first let us see about the different layers, design standardization of the IoT and machine to machine. So while coming to here, first we will be having Internet Engineering Task Force, that is IETF, which will be addressing and working on the recommendation for the engineering specification for the IoT. It is going to suggest the specification for the layers, engineering aspects for the IoT communications, networks and applications. Next is International Telecommunication Union for telecommunication, that is ITU-T. Now, while coming to the International Communication Union for Telecommunication, suggested a reference model for the IoT domain, network and transport capabilities for the IoT service, and the application at the application and the application support layers. So next, the standardization organization is European Telecommunication Standards Institute, ETSI. So while coming to the European Telecommunication Standards Institute, initiated the development of the set of standards for the network, device and gateways domains for the communication between the machine to machine. And it also proposed high level architecture for the applications and the service capabilities. Next, the last organization is Open Geospatial Consortium, that is OGC. It suggested open standards for sensors, discovery, capabilities, quality and other aspects with support to the geographical information web support. So here you can see the four different organization which proposed or they suggested their own recommendation depending on the needs. So while coming to the IETF, it mainly working and addressing on the engineering specification of the IoT. While coming to the International Telecommunication Union for Telecommunication, it mainly works on the reference model of the IoT, the as the name suggests telecommunication, right? So the network and the transport capability of the particular IoT, how the applications are presented, the application and application support layers. Now, while coming to the European Telecommunication Standards Institute, they mainly concentrated on the communication between the machine to machine. So, they suggested the set of standards for the network, device and the gateway domains. Okay. Now while coming to the geospatial consortium, they try to implement the geographical information on the IoT. So depending on their own users, their own needs or their own requirements, different organization propose different suggestion. Next, let us see about the modified OSI model for the IoT or machine-to-machine system. So while coming to here, on the left side, you have the 7-layer model, that is 7-layer OSI model. First one is physical, then you have the data link, network, transport, session, presentation and the application. So if you notice here, the physical layer, it is very similar. So the only difference is physical come data link layer. Now data link layer is changed to data adaption. Network layer is network layer itself. Transport is transport, but here presentation and the session layer, they combine together and you have the application support. Then the application is application. So while coming to here, in the physical come data link layer, you will be gathering the data from the sensors or any other devices which will be used to gather the data. Next, while coming to the in the data adaption, you are going to enrich the data, and the network and the transport, they are mainly used to stream the data. So while coming to application support, you will be having the managing, acquiring, and you will be doing the organizing and analyzing the data. In the last phase, that is application phase, you will be trying to implement that on the IoT applications and the services. Now coming to here, the IETF suggested the modification of the OSI model for the IoT and the M2M. So based on that suggestion, the modified OSI model was created. So here the data communicates from the device end to the application end. What is a device end? That is your sensor, you are gathering the data, everything, right? So to where it will be going? It will be going to the application end. So here the each layer, that is whether it is physical come data link, data adoption, network, transport, application support and the application layer, every layer is going to process the received data. Okay, and it is going to create the new data stack which will be transferred to the next layer. The processing takes place at the in between layers. So the processing will takes place in between the layers here. Now coming to the device, then also receives the data from the application or service after processing the in between layers. So here, as the IoT application and services is gather plus enrich plus stream plus manage plus acquire plus organize and analyze is equal to IoT applications and services. Now here the new applications and the services are present in the application layer, that is level 6 here or layer 6. The modification to this is that application support layer 5 uses the protocol. So this one will be using the protocols here, that is application support will be using the protocols. Now IoT applications and the services commonly use them for the network communication, that is the different protocols will be used for the network communication. Now the application support layer will be also handling or processing the data, managing, acquiring the data, organizing the data and analyzing the data. So here modifications are also at the data link layer. If you notice here, that is layer 2 or the level 2 here, and the physical layer 1 also. So the new layer are the data adaptation. Okay, so data link layer is changed to data adaptation layer, and the physical layer is changed to physical cum data link layer. Now while coming to the data adaptation layer, will be having the gateway, right? Enrich is related to the gateway, so it will be having the gateway. So what is done in the gateway? The gateway will enable the communication between the devices, networks and the web. While coming to the physical IoT M2M, that is machine to machine device, hardware will integrate the wireless transceivers using the communication protocol as well as the data link protocol for linking the data stack of L1 and L2. So this will be having both physical layer protocols and the data link layer protocols. Now we will look into the uh, communication technologies. So this is one simple communication technologies diagram that has been given. Now the physical come data link layer in the model will be consisting of the local area network, that is LAN, LAN, or the personal area network. The local area network or local network of the IoT or the machine to machine device will be using the two types of technologies for the communication. Either it will be using the wireless communication technologies or it can use the wired communication technologies. The connectivity between the devices, that is on the left hand side, is using the RF or Bluetooth Smart Energy, Zigbee IP, Zigbee neighboring area network, or you can have the NFC or 6 low pan or the mobile. So you can use different technologies for the communication. You can use LP WAN also. You can use different network protocols can be also used. So as we all already know that we are going to use two technologies, that is wireless communication technologies and the wired communication technologies. First let us see about the wireless communication technology. So first one is NFC, that is near field communication. So it is one of the enhancement from the ISO IEC2 1443 standard for contactless proximity card. So it will be having the short distance of 20 centimeter. So it enables the data exchange between the cards in the proximity of that particular short distance. So NFC devices can transmit and receive the data at the same instant. So at the same time only it can transmit the data and it also can receive the data. Now the setup time that is required is only 0.1 second. The device or its reader can generate RF fields for the nearby passive devices. So NFC device is going to check the RF field and it is going to check whether there is any collision in the transmitted signal. Now the device can check the collision and when the received signal bits do not match the transmitted signal bits there. Okay, there are some of the features of the NFC's devices. Are the range is, as I already mentioned, it is only range up to 10 to 20 centimeter there. Now the device, that is NFC device, can communicate along with the Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi devices. When you are going to make use of NFC with the support of Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi, its range is going to increase because of the support of the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. Now when you use them with the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi, their range will be increased from 10 centimeter to 30 meter, or also the higher range. Now the device is able to receive and pass the data to a Bluetooth connection or standardized LAN or the Wi-Fi using the information handover function. So you'll be using the information handover function. So where you can make use of the Bluetooth or LAN or the Wi-Fi connection. Now here you can have the three communication modes are there. One is point to point mode, card emulsion mode, and the reader mode. While coming to the point to point mode, the both device will use the active devices in which RF fields alternatively generate when the communicating. Now, card emulsion mode is communication without the interpretation of the read and write as required in the smart card or in the smart reader. Now, reader mode is going to use the NFC device, reads the passive RFID device here. The RF field is generated by the active NFC device, which enables the passive device to communicate. Next we will be seeing about the RFID, that is radio frequency identification. While coming to the RFID is an automatic identification method. So RFID will be using the internet. So RFID usage is used in remote storage and retrieval of the data, which is done using the RFID tags. Now the RFID is used or in the tracking system, mainly in the tracking system when you want to track the parcels or inventory control, or you want to check the sales login, supply chain management, or for example nowadays in the toll booth also, right? The cars have to pay the toll, right, through the toll gate. So that is also tracked by using the RFID signals. Now coming to the RFID, it is also used to identify or track or find the movements of the person, birds, or the animals. So mainly in the for the animal census, sensing the animal, or for counting of the animal, right? Counting of the animal, or you want to track the endangered species, right? Count the endangered species animals, or you want to do the census of the particular animal, right? Similar to how we going to do the human population census, right? So in the same manner, the animal census or the bird census is also done. So there also you will be using the RFID signals. Next we will be going to the Bluetooth or Bluetooth low energy. So while coming to the Bluetooth devices is going to follow the IEEE 802.15.1 standard protocol for the physical cum data link layer. Bluetooth devices from the WPAN device network. So while coming to here, you have the two modes are there. One is Bluetooth BR EDR and another one is Bluetooth low energy. So while coming to the Bluetooth BR EDR, which will be having the basic rate of 1 Mbps. So enhanced will be giving you 2 Mbps or the 3 Mbps. While coming to the low energy, it will be providing the 1 Mbps. The latest version is 4.2. So Bluetooth low energy is also called as Bluetooth smart here, and the Bluetooth 4.2 provides the data packet length extension. So it is also going to provide the privacy and the secure connections for the devices. Now the range is 150 meter and at the power of 100 milliwatts. So the data transfer rate is 1 Mbps. So the setup time that is required is 6 seconds here. Now the device can also have the provisions for single mode Bluetooth low energy or the dual mode Bluetooth BR EDR. Now these are the some of the features here. So you can have the auto synchronization between the mobile and other devices using the Bluetooth. The radio range will be depending on the class of the radio. If it is class 1 or the class 2, then you will be having 100 meter. If it is then you are going to have the 10 meter or the 1 meter will be used for the Bluetooth implementation, and it is going to support the NFC pairing also at the very low latency. And here you can have the both dual mode and the single mode. Now IPv6 connections will be used for the BT Smart, that is Bluetooth low energy, and smaller packets will be used in the low energy mode here, and you'll be using the AES CCM 128 for the authenticated encryption algorithm is used, which will be helpful in the maintaining the confidentiality and the authentication. Now coming to the operations that is done here is mainly very secured here. So next is Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is an interface technologies that uses the IEEE 802.11 protocol, and it is going to enable the wireless local area network, that is WLANs. Now Wi-Fi devices connect enterprises, universities and the offices through the home or the public hotspots here, and AP is access point, okay, home access point or the public hotspot. Now Wi-Fi connects distributed WLAN networks using the internet. The only issue of the Wi-Fi interface is access points and the routers will consume very high power. It will going to consume very high power, and there are chances that there is going to be interference. So when you are going to have the interference, the performance of the Wi-Fi will degrade. Next, you are going to have the GPRS, GSM, cellular networks, mobile internet. So this is a communication gateway, can access the wireless wide area network here. So the network access may use the GPRS, so that is cellular network, that is mobile internet, right? So it is going to make use of the cellular network or the new generation cellular network for the internet access. The mobile phone provisions for the USB wired port, and you have it for provision for the Bluetooth, and it also supports the Wi-Fi connectivity. That is any mobile phones. Now wireless connectivity for the internet uses the data connectivity using the GSM, GPRS or LTE. So these are the different services that is available, wireless connectivity services that is available in your mobile. So you can also make use of the Wi-Fi that is provided by the modem. Now next one is wireless USB. So while coming to the wireless USB is a wireless extension of the USB 2.0. So it is going to operate at ultra wide band of 5.1 gigahertz to 10.6 gigahertz frequencies. So while coming to here, it is used for short range. So it will be having around 3 meter to 10 meter channel will be present, and the speed will be of 480 Mbps to 110 Mbps. Now the FCC, that is Federal Communication Commission, recommends the host wire adapter and device wire adapter, which provides the wireless USB solution. So again, it is going to provide the dual role devices, support the dual role devices where the USB device as well as has the limited capability host. Next is wired communication technologies. So while coming to the wired communication technologies, it can be serial asynchronous communication or the synchronous serial communication. The communication can be over a bus when a number of system is connected through a common set of interconnection. So if your system is connected through a common set of interconnection, then it will be done on the bus topology. Okay, so bus topology, it will be very easy to implement also. Now the bus signals may be sent in a serial or in the parallel manner. So they can be sent in the serial or the parallel manner. And here, when you are going to use the bus topology, the number of systems will be connected through the common set of control. That means you are going to have the address and the data signals will be also very similar. Now coming to the communication between the master. Who is the master? The one who sends the signal is a master. Then who is the slave? Right? The one who listens or one who receives it is the listener or the slave. So here the wireless connection is done using the wired communication is done using the Ethernet IEEE 802.2 bus specification. So here MAC sublayer, MAC is your device identification number there. So MAC sublayer data frame may be according to the Ethernet protocol. So here you can also use the USB port, micro USB and the USB 3.0 adapter. Now next one is UART and USART serial communication. UART, that is Universal Asynchronous Transmitter, and USART, that is Universal Synchronous Asynchronous Transmitter. So the first one, UART, Universal Asynchronous Transmitter. Here it is going to enable the serial communication using the asynchronous modes. But while coming to the USART, that is Universal Synchronous Asynchronous Transmitter, it enables the serial communication by using synchronous and asynchronous mode. So while coming to UART, it is going to only support asynchronous mode. While coming to the USART, it is going to support synchronous also, and it is going to support the asynchronous also. Now, what do you mean by asynchronous and what do you mean by synchronous? Right? When you are sending the data, there the in the synchronous, the sender time and the receiver time, that is completely matched. So there is going to be the same amount of phase difference and the time spacing both in the sender side and the receiver side. But while coming to the asynchronous mode of the communication, there is going to be the difference in the phase differences or in the successive byte transfer of the successive bytes or in the time interval in the sender side and the receiver side, and also in between the data that is being sent will be different. So asynchronous mode, it is mainly the time of the sender side and the receiver side is matched there. While coming to the not matched. While coming to the synchronous, they are matched. The time of the sender and the receiver is matched there. Now next one is SPI, which is serial peripheral interface. The serial peripheral interface, it is one of the widely used serial synchronous communication mode. So it is a synchronous communication mode here. So here source of the serial synchronous output or the input is called as master, and when it also controls the synchronizing clock and the information to the receiver. So here the source of the synchronous connection, the source of the synchronous connection is the master. So you can say that the one who sends the information is the master. So master is going to send the information, plus he is going to synchronize the clock information of the receiver also. Okay, he is going to synchronize the clock information to the receiver also. While coming to the receiver of the serial synchronous is the slave. The one who receives the signal is the slave, and the slave or the receiver, he is also going to receive the information regarding the synchronizing the clock from the master. So the master is going to send the data, plus he is going to send the data regarding to the synchronizing the clock. While coming to the slave, he is going to receive the data, plus he is going to receive the data or the information regarding the synchronizing clock. Next is I2C bus here. I2C, that is inter-integrated circuit. Inter-integrated circuit. So the number of devices integrated circuit for the sensors and the actuators, so flash memories, touch screens, need will be having the data exchange in the number of processors. So here the number of devices are placed in the integrated circuit. Okay, number of device integrated circuits for what? For sensors, actuators, memory and touch screen. So here ICs, that is integrated circuits, will be mutual network through the common synchronous serial bus. So many ICs are connected together. Okay, so that time you can have the inter-integrated circuit. So here you can have the four modes are there. One is master transmit, master receive, slave transmit, and slave receive. So four modes are there. Okay, but most of the time IC2 bus, when you are there in the communication or anything, it will be mainly having either a single row and it will be having the two modes. Okay, there are four modes are there. There are four modes. One is master transmit, master receive, slave transmit, and slave receive. But when it is working, okay, the device is going to have the single row and two modes only. So here I2C, that is inter-integrated circuit, will be having two lines that is used to carry the signal. The one will be used for the clock and another one is used for the bidirectional data. Why the clock? Because it is going to support the synchronous, right? When you are mentioning about synchronous, it has to keep track of the clock also, right? Or the time also. So one is used for the clock and another one is used for the bidirectional data transfer. So it is IC two bus is going to have the specific feeds and each feed will be having the time intervals and the bits will be there, number of bits will be there and sequence will be there and the time interval between them will be also present. Next is wired USB. So while coming to the wired USB, so that is universal serial bus. So it is one of the fast serial transmission and reception between the host. So when you can use the USB when you want to have the fast serial transmission and when you want to have the between the two hosts, then you can use them. So this will be having the embedded systems and you will be also having the distributed serial device will be present here. Now USB standards will be providing fast as well as low speed serial transmission and the reception between the host and the serial devices. Now here both the host and the device can function in a system. So here it will be mainly having three standards will be there, that is USB 1.1 which will be at the 1.5 to 12 Mbps, 2.0 which will be having the 480 Mbps, 3.0 which will be having the 5 um, giga bps and you will be having the 3.1 also which is having the super speed of the 10 gigabits per second. Okay, gigabits per second. Next is Ethernet. So while coming to the Ethernet standard, it is mainly based on the 802.02 protocol for the LAN for computer, workstation and the device LANs. So here each frame at the LAN is consist of the header. Now the Ethernet will be enabling the services of the local device nodes, computer systems, local resources, etc. Okay, so that is regarding the wired communication technologies. So in this class we have seen about the different standardization organization, modified OSI model, and then we have also spoken about the different technologies, communication technologies, and we have also spoken about the wired and the wireless communication technologies. Thank you.